Good morning, everyone. I'm Lily Genovese. I'm the coordinator for Trout in the Classroom in New York City and the New York City Watersheds. Welcome to our first ever Fireside STEM Careers Chat. We are so lucky we have Karl Vonberg joining us. He is a watershed forester from the Watershed Agricultural Council. As you know, we're good partners with WAC. We often have employees from their agency and organization come and join us for our trout releases and help us out in learning more about riparian forests. So Karl grew up in Ithaca, New York. He is currently working in the New York City's West of Hudson watershed to help protect our forests and is helping loggers do responsible logging. And we're gonna move forward with our interview. So welcome, Karl. Thank you so much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
So we have 4 short questions for you. We're going to keep our interview short today, but you can learn more about the Watershed Agricultural Council if you visit their website. You can learn more about Karl and the amazing work he does. So first question for you. Can you tell us what you do, and did you see yourself in the role that you are in today when you were a high school student?
So first part, I have basically 2 parts to my job. One is field work with loggers and landowners, visiting harvest sites and helping landowners decide what they want to do on their property management-wise in their woods. And did I see myself doing this back in high school and college? No. I did see myself doing forestry work, but I didn't realize this type of forestry work existed. So that was something that I've just kind of moved into over the years as I've realized what I like and what's available to have as a job.
That's amazing. Thank you. And what is the hardest part of your job?
I think this varies from person to person, but for me, it's some of the paperwork, and actually we're in the midst of that increasing at this point in time. And I'm not a detail person, so that's difficult for me, but that's why I say it can be different for everyone. For some people, it might be being outside in all sorts of weather conditions. So it just depends on the person, I think, as to what makes it difficult. Let me just look at my notes here and see what else I had.
I definitely say I'd prefer to be out in the different types of weather than be doing the paperwork also.
Yeah, and that's definitely me. I just am drawn to working outside. My wife has told me if you had to sit at a desk all day, our marriage would be difficult. So again, that depends on the person. I think the other aspect of it that is difficult for me is that when you're involved with working with loggers or landowners, educating them isn't the key to making change. It's somehow having them emotionally realize the difference that can happen if they care about water quality, for instance. And that is extremely hard to bring across. So I think often we think, oh, if we just educate people, that'll make a difference in what they do. It's a start, but the key is getting them emotionally connected to that situation to the point where they decide they want to make a change. And that's really hard to do.
Yes, for sure. And I think TIC does a really good job of connecting people to the water supply through our tiny little baby fry. Thank you. And what is the rest of your day going to look like today, for instance? I know it's pretty balmy outside.
Yeah, so I had planned a visit to a harvest that's just beginning. And what I do is I go and I look at the trail layout for how they're going to pull the trees out of the woods and make sure that that is set up in a way that benefits water quality the utmost. So when you harvest in a woods, there's going to be some impact on the water quality. You can't help it because of the fact that they're disturbing the soil. But what you want to do is minimize that and restrict that to ways where it doesn't get into the stream and affect the water quality that eventually would be the drinking water for New York City or the trout in terms of the habitat for them. So that's my goal when I visit a site. And again, a lot of that has to do with helping loggers realize that it's important for them to do things a certain way. A lot of loggers are they're belligerent. They want to do what they want to do when they want to do it. And so you have to bring something into their situation that makes them care more. And for us, it happens to be money that can drive them. So we pay them to do things that help keep the water clean. And that gives them incentive to make those changes that benefit the water quality.
Yeah, it's amazing how something so simple as, the way that products are moved through the forest, can impact so much of the water quality. Something so interesting to think about. And what advice would you have to students from around the state and New York City who are interested in following this type of career path in the future?
So there's two parts, I think, to this. One is we can get turned on to or think we really like something from a distance, but it's somehow to get involved with it in a more detailed way, whether that's mentoring or shadowing. So my encouragement would be, if you have an interest in this area, is to somehow link up with a logger, a forester, or someone that could take you to those sites and have you learn firsthand, wow, this is what it's like to be there. And that's a critical part of it, because I think we can like the idea of keeping the water clean, but until we actually delve into that and realize firsthand, oh, this is what it involves. It involves being outside, sometimes when it's pouring rain and you're going to get soaking wet, or it's 10 degrees and windy and it's cold. But those are just some of the conditions that you have to deal with if you're choosing to be in this type situation. So I find a lot of people interested in this, but they need to really know what it's like to work more on a day-to-day basis to understand if they really are going to be okay with the job. So that's my push for people. I feel like we can have a desire to do something, but not realize what it takes to do. So whatever way you can find to discover that more is really helpful to deciding, yes, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, and I think I've seen before Watershed Agricultural Council internship opportunities in the summer, so that might be a nice place to start. But thank you so much, Karl. I really appreciate having you on our first ever Fireside Chat, and I look forward to connecting with you in the future, and hope you'll join us at a trout release the next time we're able to get back out there.
Yep, I have been on one and enjoyed seeing that. So it would be nice to see you again. Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.